Before we dive into this chilling real-life mystery, don't forget to subscribe to Infinity, your gateway to untold discoveries, unsolved puzzles, and the strange corners of our world. Now, let's set sail into the unknown. The Bermuda Triangle, a region shrouded in enigma. Stretching between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this triangle has swallowed aircraft, ships, and souls alike. But in 2013, something was found that sent chills down the spine of even seasoned explorers. The Ocean Research Project, a nonprofit group conducting research missions, was navigating waters just off Bermuda. Their focus was scientific: ocean health, plastic pollution, and sailing expeditions. But what they stumbled upon was anything but routine. One morning in unusually calm waters, the crew spotted something on the horizon. It wasn't moving, just drifting, completely lifeless. Through binoculars, it was confirmed: a yacht, alone. No signs of activity, no radio calls, no flags, no human presence, nothing. Skepticism turned to concern. A drifting ship with no crew? The team considered possibilities: mechanical failure, abandoned due to storm damage, or worse, piracy. As they approached, the silence was deafening. The wind was low, the sea still. The yacht sat almost too perfectly in the water, like it was staged. It was a 49-foot Beneteau Oceanus, a modern sailing yacht. White hull, sails tied down. But the deck was empty, and no one responded to hails over the radio. The team circled the vessel. No visible damage, no signs of life. Just a quiet, beautiful boat, eerily untouched. Then came the decision. They had to board. Cautiously, they secured their own boat and climbed aboard the mysterious yacht. The atmosphere was instantly unsettling. Below deck, they were hit with a wave of stale, humid air. The lights were still functioning. Food sat half-eaten on the table. A pot was still on the stove. Jackets hung where they'd last been used. There were personal belongings everywhere: clothes, books, toiletries. Everything suggested the crew had been living normally, up until the very second they weren't. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no signs of fire, flooding, or any sudden mechanical failure. The vessel was seaworthy. All systems were working. There were working radios, operational engines, and enough food and water on board to last days, maybe weeks. The logbook was untouched. No frantic final entry, no mayday, no scribbled clue about what had gone wrong. The more they explored, the stranger it got. The beds were made. Electronics still functional. A laptop sat on a table, still powered. The battery long since drained, but open to a weather site. There were no passports, no IDs left in obvious places. The only hint to the ship's identity was its registration, leading to the Royal Irish Yacht Club. The Ocean Research Project team was left stunned. A ghost ship. But not old and creaky, modern, clean, well-equipped, as if its crew had vanished mid-breakfast. For hours they tried to find clues. Had the crew abandoned ship? But why would anyone do that when the vessel was clearly fine? It didn't feel like something from this world. It felt like the Bermuda Triangle had quietly claimed lives and returned the vessel as a haunting reminder. Eventually, the explorers made a decision. They would tow the ghost ship back to Bermuda. At the very least, authorities might find answers, but nature, or something else, had other plans. The yacht, later identified as the Wolfhound, had been adrift for weeks. The Ocean Research Project crew carefully fastened a tow line and began the slow journey back toward land. But almost immediately, they faced problems. The ship was heavier than expected and awkward to tow in open waters. Storm clouds began forming in the distance. The Bermuda Triangle, it seemed, was not done with this vessel. Winds picked up, the sea turned rough. What started as a recovery mission turned into a battle against the elements. Hours into the journey, the tow line snapped. The ghost ship, as if resisting rescue, began to drift away again. They reconnected it and tried again, but each mile was harder than the last. The weather worsened. It was as if the ship didn't want to be saved. After nearly 700 miles of struggle, exhaustion and risk began to outweigh curiosity. The crew, after long deliberation, made a tough call. They let the yacht go. The Wolfhound drifted once again into the triangle, as mysteriously as it had appeared. A haunted relic set free into the unknown. But the mystery wouldn't end there. As the story spread, journalists and online sleuths began connecting dots, and soon, a disturbing backstory emerged that added even more layers to the enigma. It turns out the Wolfhound was once part of the Royal Irish Yacht Club. Its last known voyage began in 2013, helmed by experienced sailor Donald McClement and crew. Their journey started from the Caribbean, heading to Bermuda. At some point, severe weather and mechanical issues reportedly hit. McClement made contact with a passing ship, the Heijin. He and his crew were rescued and brought to safety, but the Wolfhound was left behind. Here's where it gets strange. No official distress call was logged, no mayday, and after the rescue, there were no clear reports to authorities detailing where the Wolfhound had been abandoned. For weeks, no one even knew the boat was adrift. It simply floated across thousands of miles without being spotted or salvaged. And when the Ocean Research Project finally found it, they had no idea it had already been the site of a real evacuation. Why did the original crew leave in such a hurry? Why was their food uneaten, belongings left behind, and systems still working? Some theorists suggest a rogue wave or equipment failure spooked the crew. Others believe the mystery lies deeper, something psychological, even paranormal. The Bermuda Triangle has long been accused of generating bizarre electromagnetic anomalies that affect navigation, cognition, and even time perception. Could that explain their fear, their urgency, or was it simply human panic, magnified by isolation and a storm? The true horror is not in the rescue. It's in the silence of that yacht, the eerie stillness that seemed untouched by time, like its story was paused, waiting to be noticed. The Wolfhound remains a symbol of how close we are to vanishing and how little the ocean cares. Its reappearance, fully intact, is a rare moment where mystery and truth collide. And still, many questions remain. Why did no one salvage it earlier? How did it remain so preserved? Why was its story never widely reported until curious minds investigated years later? The Bermuda Triangle has no shortage of ghost stories. But this one is real, documented, witnessed, and somehow still unexplained. The Ocean Research Project never expected to become part of a legend, yet their footage, their encounter, their decision to let the ship drift again, all became part of something bigger. For days after the event, they couldn't shake the feeling that something had watched them aboard, that maybe the ship wasn't truly empty. To this day, the Wolfhound's fate remains unclear. Was it ever recovered, or is it still out there, drifting quietly in the blue void? What if it returns again, years from now, unchanged, untouched, waiting for the next crew to find it? The sea holds its secrets tightly, and sometimes when it lets one go, we're left with more questions than answers. So if you're ever sailing those waters and spot a vessel adrift, lights still on, doors unlocked, would you dare go inside? The Bermuda Triangle doesn't always take. Sometimes, it just gives back a ghost. And maybe, just maybe, it wants us to look deeper, because in that silence lies the truth we're not ready to hear. If this real-life ghost ship gave you chills, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Infinity. We explore the hidden, the lost, and the mysteries that defy reason. Until next time, stay curious and sail carefully.